What is time? I was asking myself this very question after I watched Interstellar for the 30th or the 40th time. I kept watching this movie and I kept thinking about time. Time is a movie central concept. The time that Cooper is not gonna be able to spend with his kids because he needs to go. And how time and distance can't erase the relation that they have with each other.
Nobody believed me, but I knew you'd come back.
How?
Because my dad promised me.
But how does the music fit in all this? This Hans Zimmer masterpiece has two pillars: sound design and composition. Time passes for us all. Even if we don't think about it, time is passing and it only goes forward. This concept is represented in the song. If you listen carefully, you will see a note that is playing all the time. It's a ni and it's always the same note. It's constantly playing. And what that note represents is that time is always passing. This simple yet powerful concept goes along the whole track. So this note that is going on all the time is played with a very simple harmony. The whole soundtrack is in A minor, and all the chords that you listen are F, G, A, and back to G. Those are all the chords. This is understandable because film scoring needs to be kind of simple. Because if the music is too complex, too difficult, then it draws attention from the storyline and it draws attention from the visuals. So usually film scoring is not made to be enjoyed by itself. Now this track of Interstellar, it's so simple yet too powerful that it shows how time goes on, and it really draws you in the story, and it really makes you connect with the characters and make you connect with the story. Also this pedal note that is sounding all the time, which by the way I made a video about and you can watch it here if you want, creates the right amount of tension throughout the whole piece. It's going on all the time. I'm a sucker for pedal notes, I love them. In this case, the pedal note is so well done that makes the soundtrack super nice to listen. Where I think this track really shines in the sound design. Hans Zimmer is a master of sound design. You've listened to many of his soundtracks. Pirates of the Caribbean, Gladiator, Dune, Inception. So many important soundtracks are made by him. And I keep thinking that his very strong point, more than the composition, and don't get me wrong, he's a great composer, he might be one of the most influential composers of our time, but what I think he really shines is in the sound design. Now, funnily enough, the main instrument that is used was requested by Christopher Nolan himself, not by Hans Zimmer, and it's an organ.
They really wanted him to use the church organ. And I also made the case very strongly for some feeling of religiosity to it, even though the film isn't religious, but that the organ, the architecture of cathedrals and all the rest, they represent mankind's attempt to portray the mystical or the metaphysical, what's beyond us, beyond the realm of the everyday.
Organs are the most complex instruments there are. And if you want to learn more about them, I really recommend you this video from Rob Scallion. But just to give you a short introduction, organs can be as big as a building. Organs are made of a bunch of metal pipes, and each pipe can make only one sound. So each note may have one or many pipes. It really depends on the organ. If you want to change the tone in that note, you control all that with a bunch of levers and buttons and whatnot.
This kind of reminds me of like a guitar player's pedal board. Just like so many different switches.
Right.
This is like an analog.
It's almost like a cockpit of an airplane.
Yeah.
You sit down here and you're absolutely surrounded by control devices.
And now when you actually play, you control it with a keyboard. And there are 3, 4 or so many keyboards. There's even one in the feet.
for all the notes on the keyboard. So you got the 5 keyboards and a pedal board for the feet.
So organs can go from a very low pitch to a very high pitch. Also, Hans Zimmer said that he likes organs because they feel very human, because they need to breathe. And in every sound you feel like, and you see and you can hear how the organ is breathing.
There's something very human about it because it can only make a sound with air and it needs to breathe. And on each note you hear the breath. You hear the exhale.
You feel.
So they are using organs, but they are using organs alongside many other instruments. When I was doing some research for this video, I saw a composer's blog. This composer that you can see here, his name, asked him, how could we get such a big sound from his orchestras? And then he just explained that his orchestras are always a mix of acoustic instruments and samples. And those are seamlessly blended together, and that blend combined with a bunch of tracks and a bunch of layers makes sound that can't exist in the real world. That's why his sound is so good. He layers so many sounds together to create such a huge, big sound that we all can hear in his movies. This movie also have small details which I really like. For example, when they go to Miller's planet, every 1.25 seconds you can hear a click. And because in that planet time goes slower, that little click meant that every 1.25 seconds, so every click, there was a full day passing on Earth. And because they were in Miller's planet around 3 hours, that was almost 23 years in Earth. So after they leave, the kids he left in Earth are already his age.
Wherever you are, Dad, hope that you're at peace, and bye.
We might be the same age. And today I'm the age you were when you left.
I think Interstellar is the greatest soundtrack there is. The sound design, the harmony, the simplicity, I really like simple music. It's just perfect, and it goes so well with the story, and the choice of the sounds, how it fits with the image, it's just, everything is perfect about it. So I wanted to make this video to share some of my thoughts with you.